feeling was incredible. That's amazing, especially we had such a great fight today on court, both of us.
The gates are open, the matches are getting underway, and you can see lots of people are enjoying the porch area that was incredible. That's amazing. Especially we had such a great fight today on court, both of us. 94 places. That is the distance on the current WTA singles rankings between Eala of the Philippines at number 29 and Zheng Qinwen of China at number 123. 2 players, 1 draw sheet, 94 places between them on paper. And when the Polymarket money line for their Mubadala City DC Open first round opened at 3:33 in the morning Eastern Time on July 26th, the price on Eala hovered by the account of the title framing this story at around 71%. In plainer English, on a prediction market with roughly $15.3 million of cumulative trading volume across Eala's individual match markets alone, the crowd was collectively saying there is close to a 3 in 4 chance that the 21-year-old from Manila beats the reigning Paris 2024 Olympic singles gold medalist. That is the sentence. Read it twice because for anyone who has watched women's tennis over the last 3 years, the shape of that sentence is not supposed to be possible yet. To understand why the number is startling, you have to hold 2 facts in the same hand. Eala is right now coming off the most consequential 3 weeks of her career, a 4th-round run at Wimbledon 2026 that included a center court win over the defending champion Iga Swiatek. And Zheng Qinwen is right now ranked 123 in the world for one reason. She spent most of the last 12 months rehabilitating from arthroscopic elbow surgery she underwent in July 2025. She missed the last 2 majors of last year, withdrew from the 2026 Australian Open, and only returned to the tour in February at Doha, where she opened her comeback with a 3-set win over former Slam champion Sofia Kenin. Those are the 2 shapes that are colliding today. A rising Filipina inside the top 30, a wounded Slam finalist rebuilding from scratch. Now, here is the tension that this whole script is going to sit inside. The market is doing something a lot of longtime tennis watchers instinctively resist. It is telling us that on a hard court in Rock Creek Park in Washington, D.C. on the 27th of July 2026, the ranking data and the recent form data outweigh the pedigree data. Outweigh it heavily. Because if you look only at what these 2 players have carved onto their resumes, 1 Olympic gold medal, 1 Australian Open final, a career high of world number 4, the emotional math points to Zheng. Reputation matters. Champions are champions. That is the heart of it. But the market is not pricing the heart. The market is pricing the ledger. And the ledger for the 2026 calendar year reads like this. Eala, 30 wins, 18 losses, 1 WTA level grass title at Birmingham, prize money of just over $128 million, a maiden Wimbledon second week, and a top 30 ranking that is a career high. Zheng Qinwen, 11 wins, 11 losses, no title, prize money of $531,000, and a first-round Wimbledon exit in which, against Katerina Siniakova, she won just 4 games across the entire match. 2 different seasons priced accordingly. It is worth pausing here because this is the part where fairness matters. Zheng is not being disrespected by that number. She is being priced honestly, and to her credit, she has been remarkably honest about the same reality herself. In February, in the days around her Doha return, she said, and this is a direct quote as reported by multiple outlets, "I don't pray for winning matches. I just prayed for a normal elbow." That is a champion talking about a body that has to be rebuilt before it can win again. It is not a line from an opponent who expects to walk in and dismiss anybody. It is a line from someone whose relationship to competition right now is fundamentally about recovery. So the question the script has to answer is not, did the market get it right? The market will resolve itself in match time on court in a couple of hours. The question is, what did the market actually see? And to answer that, you have to walk through the evidence the way a trader on Polymarket would have walked through it before opening a position. Start with what you can measure. The prediction market itself is not a small thing anymore. Cumulative trading volume across Eala's active markets on Polymarket sits at roughly $15.3 million per the platform's own player page. That does not mean the market is always right. Volume is not accuracy. But it does mean there is enough liquidity in the pool that the price is being sharpened by people who are actively looking at the same information you're looking at and putting money on top of their read. That is the first piece of evidence. This is not a thin, noisy market shouting a random number. This is a moderately deep market, delivering a specific, considered price. Second piece of evidence, the ranking gap does most of the work. 94 places between Eala at 29 and Zheng at 123. In tennis, ranking implied win probability against a much lower-ranked opponent on average sits somewhere in the mid-60s to low 70s range depending on the surface, the specific players, and the round. The poly market price, wherever it sits at any given minute today, is inside that range. It is not exotic. It is in fact roughly what the raw ranking implied math would spit out before any human judgment is layered on top. Third piece of evidence, form. Because rankings lag and form doesn't. Eala's form entering this match includes a straight sets Wimbledon second-round comeback over Laura Siegemund, a third-round win over Magda Linette, and a genuinely stirring fourth-round loss to Jasmine Paolini in 3 sets, 4-6, 6-4, 3-6 on center court. Zheng's form entering this match includes a first-round Rome loss to Anna Bondar, a first-round Wimbledon loss to Siniakova, and a Doha comeback that flashed brilliance. 20 aces, 43 winners against Kenin before flickering out against Elena Rybakina in the round of 16. If you were a trader pricing this match blind, and you were only handed those 2 form ledgers with the names removed, you would price the top ledger as the favorite. That is what the market has done. Take a breath here for a second because it would be easy at this point in the script to slide into the frame of Zheng is finished. Eala walks through. That is not the story. That is the temptation the story has to resist. The market is not saying Zheng is finished. The market is saying that on this specific day, in this specific first round, one player is currently more likely to win one match. Everything under that sentence is nuance. Fourth piece of evidence, and this is where the pedigree case for Zheng gets its full hearing. She is an Olympic gold medalist. Paris 2024 singles gold on clay at Roland Garros. She is a former world number 4, career high reached in June 2025. She was an Australian Open finalist in 2024, and when her body has been available to her, she is one of the biggest ball strikers in the sport. The Doha comeback match against Kenin was not a soft return. 20 aces, 43 winners. A woman who had not competed at tour level in roughly 5 months, walking out and hitting through a slam champion. That is what she is capable of on a day when her serve is working and her elbow is quiet. The market has that data. The market has priced it, and still the price says Eala fifth piece of evidence. And this is where the story bends toward its emotional climax. What has Alex Eala done in the last 3 weeks that would make a market willing to look past Zheng Qinwen's pedigree? Start with center court Wimbledon, 21st of the month. Alex Eala, ranked outside the top 30 at the time, walked onto the biggest lawn in tennis against Iga Swiatek, the defending champion of the tournament, and won 7-6 in the tiebreak, 6-2. That match was played in front of a watching Roger Federer. It was the kind of match where the color drained slowly out of the favorite's face as the second set unspooled, and by the end of it, Eala had authored the most significant single-match win of any player from the Philippines in the Open era. The WTA's own fan poll voted her star of the swing for the grass season, capturing close to 90% of the vote. That is the resume the market is looking at. Not a ranking, a resume. And on the resume sits a defending Wimbledon champion whose name Eala has already crossed out. Sixth piece of evidence. And this is the honest counterweight the story owes itself. The head-to-head between these two players is not 0-0. They have played once. It was September of 2023 at the Asian Games on hard court. Zheng won in 3 sets and went on that same week to take the Asian Games gold medal. Eala was 18 years old then. Zheng was 20. Both players are in almost every meaningful way different athletes now than they were on that afternoon in Hangzhou. But the record is the record, and the only direct on-court evidence anyone has of these two women playing each other belongs to Zheng Qinwen. That is the piece of information a fair script does not hide. The best available outside voice on Alex Eala this month is not a coach or a commentator. It is Jasmine Paolini, the Italian ranked 13th at Wimbledon 2026, A Roland Garros finalist and a Wimbledon finalist in 2024 sat down for her pre-match press conference before their fourth-round meeting and, without theatricality, called Alex Eala a very dangerous player. Alex, she's a really tough opponent. That is Paolini's assessment on the record. And what makes the assessment carry weight is what happened next. Paolini backed up her own words. She went out and beat Eala in 3 sets. The point is not that Eala won that match. She didn't. The point is that a slam finalist with a full look at the tape and the scouting file walked into a press conference, and without being prompted, publicly rated Eala as a threat before proving she was right about it.